Coming up on today's recap and review of AEW Dynamite, Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland's feud intensifies, who will be in this year's Blood and Guts, Okada loves to swear, and more. Stay tuned. No SmackDown video this week. I'll be spending time with my friend before he gets shipped out to the Coast Guard. God bless America. Anyways, let's get into the show. Our AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland comes out to yap a bit about the main event of Forbidden Door between him and Will Ospreay. He says that Will Ospreay won't get the job done because unlike himself, he's not a killer. He doesn't have that mentality to use whatever means necessary, referring to Ospreay's hesitance to use the Tiger Driver, fearing he'll injure his opponent, something Swerve wouldn't think twice about. But Swerve compliments Ospreay on being a fighting champion, unlike the tag champions, the EVPs, who are just waiting for someone to insult them so that they can come out. And I'm convinced Okada's favorite word is he says it every week and it's the funniest thing ever. The Elite say that despite all the trash talk Swerve has thrown at them, they want him to be on their team for Blood and Guts. And they even offer him a pair of their new shoes. Now Swerve is a pretty messed up dude, but even he doesn't like the Elite. So he shuts them down and has Nana throw the shoes into the crowd, which is really cool. The Elite did not like this. And as they get ready to jump Swerve, the Acclaimed rush in for the rescue. But right before they started to fight, Christopher Daniels, who is basically Adam Pearce now, kicks everyone out except for Jack Perry because he had a TNT qualifier match with Dustin Rhodes next, which I'd say he got a pretty easy opponent. Everyone else had to deal with Takeshita, Brian Cage, and the Ring of Honor World Champion. And then this guy gets 55-year-old Dustin Rhodes. Okay, so it looks like we're getting the Elite versus the Acclaimed at Blood and Guts. I have no idea who's going to be on the Acclaimed team, but for Team Elite, I am praying Hangman comes out. That'd be perfect. The segments, I give him an A tier. Next, we had a squash match for Rush, but the good stuff doesn't happen until after the match. Rush gets racist against Mexico. Rush gets racist towards Americans and attacks this poor guy, but MJF comes out to get in the fight. Now these two are pretty fed up with security getting in their way, so they team up for a bit to take him out so that they can continue fighting, which they took everywhere. Ringside, out in the crowd, backstage. It was awesome. And we even found out that they're having their match next week on Dynamite. This is great. Rush isn't anyone's, dream feud with MJF. So I really like that they're keeping this short and sweet. I'm giving this a strong B tier. After that, we had a 6-man tag match with Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, and Orange Cassidy going up against Kyle Fletcher, Takeshita, and Roderick Strong. Cassidy got his hands in his pockets, but watch your jaw before he rocks it. Mark Briscoe rambles for like a minute straight, and you can just tell by looking at Kyle's face how crazy he is. I love the guy. This was an all-star lineup that just did not let up. Especially that last minute, I could not catch my breath, but it ended with Kyle Fletcher delivering a pile driver to Mark Briscoe. I found it really surprising for the Ring of Honor World Champion to get pinned here, but they're both champions in the company, so maybe there's something there. A fantastic match. S tier. Then it was a tag match with Samoa Joe and Hook versus the Premier Athletes. This was a short and one-sided match, and I wish we would treat Tony Nese better, but it was really fun. I just love this new trio with Shibata. Him choking out Smart Mark and Hook learning to do the step away from Samoa Joe is so awesome. So I'm going to put this in the top of B tier. Next, we got a TBS Championship match between Mercedes Moné and CMLL's Zeuxis. It's great to see Mercedes on TV every week, and with it being Forbidden Door season, we get to see wrestlers that I've never even heard of before. Like Zeuxis, who did this really awesome butterfly lung blower. But come on, it's Mercedes. She rolled out of the way of a moonsault and countered a powerbomb attempt into the moneymaker. Good match, but although I love seeing new faces, I'm not a huge fan of barely finding out about someone and them getting a title match right away. But despite that, it's gonna get the top of B tier. Hi guys. Next we had TV time with the learning tree Chris Jericho. Jericho's funny, I don't know what to tell you guys. It cracks me up every time. He thinks he's an expert at everything and tries to explain things that people already know. And it's great because it's putting over younger talent. He calls out Private Party because he thinks they want to learn from him, but really, they just trick him into teaching them how to get onto the top rope so that they can push him. And the crowd loved it. How often do you see the crowd cheering for Private Party? I'm giving this B tier, but I'm not crazy, okay? I'll give it the bottom of B tier. Cool? Daniel Garcia made quick work of Nick Comoroto, who's making his 2024 Dynamite debut. Look at that smile. How could you hate this guy? He looks so happy. Too bad he lost in what was essentially a jobber match, which I'm not totally sure how to rate with the tier list, so I'm not gonna. Daniel Garcia has made it clear he aims to take the international title away from Will Ospreay. And if Will Ospreay is gonna be AEW World Champion soon, then I don't think that's a bad idea. But there's just no way Will Ospreay's first loss is gonna be to Daniel Garcia. So I can see it happening in the future, but just not right now. Finally, it was time for the main event. Will Ospreay versus Rey Fenix with the international title on the line. I already gave this match S tier before it even started. These two are just so quick and athletic, you already knew it's going to be a banger. They even did a Ospreay front flip out of a Hurricanrana off the top rope spot. And crazily, this match ended with Ospreay doing the swerve stomp. So being called out like that, Strickland entered the ring after the match, and things got pretty heated. Strickland started to push Ospreay, yelling at him that he's not strong enough to hold both belts. This ticks Ospreay off, so right before Strickland leaves, he yoinks the AEW World Championship. And at that moment, Swerve Strickland thought about murder. He grabs the belt back and tells Ospreay, "You're lucky we're still friends, because if anyone else were to do this, I'd put them in the grave." Such a cool line, and really shows how much more violent Swerve Strickland is compared to Ospreay. And that may just be the difference that decides the winner at Forbidden Door. Anyways, that was my recap and review of the show. Subscribe so you don't miss my videos on Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown. And as always, thanks for watching.